Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
And this is Ito.
And we are The Carbonation Conversation. We're here reviewing The Last Duel by Ridley Scott. But before we get into that, as always, shout out to Mo Beats. If you like what you're hearing in the background or any of the audio editing and music production, I just told you
okay there? That. You all right? You all right there, buddy?
Definitely hit up Mo in the description below. Also, definitely definitely subscribe, follow, comment, do all that good stuff, because we definitely want to interact with you guys as we try to gain more followers. And last but not least, shout out to Massachusetts, shout out to Florida, shout out to Chicago, shout out to Russia. Thanks, guys, for listening to us. Happy New Beer shot? Yeah, whatever. Yeah. All right, let's get it.
You just said it. It's a shout out. Thanks for listening, fellas. Ladies and fellas.
Yeah, and we also have some Grolsch beer.
It's Grolsch.
Yeah, I was trying to look up where it was from real quick, trying to do a quick Google, but I wasn't able to do that. So I was like, all right, this beer looked interesting. And at the liquor store, I was trying to get some new stuff. I'm pretty sure maybe by the end of it, we'll find out where it's from.
Holland.
It's from Holland?
Yeah.
I love the way you read fast. But yeah, so The Last Duel.
Happy New Beer.
Yes, oh yeah, Happy New Beer. So The Last Duel.
Ridley Scott, of course, you know, he did Gladiator, Alien, stuff like that. So just off Gladiator alone and this type of movie, you feel like, okay, we might be in for a nice little ride.
Yeah, I know. I thought I would be getting tired of these type of movies, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, Game of Thrones is coming back, The Witcher, they're kind of all based back in the day type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I did.
Yeah, no. It's like, it all depends on the story. You know what I mean?
Man. Quick thoughts. What did you think?
Oh, I thought it was really good. I thought the acting was great and everything. You know, this is also based on true events.
Yep. I will have to say, and we thought the French were pussies. My God. I mean, that's like the running joke among countries,
right?
But damn,
this takes place in the 1800s during the 100-Year War.
Yeah.
Where it was France and Scotland against England.
Mm-hmm. And it is starring Matt Damon, Adam Driver, and Jodie Comer. I may not be pronouncing that right. But this
looks like Comer.
Yeah, it could be one of those. I was like Comer. But basically, this movie is broken down into 3 specific stories, all around the same subject, and it's like
it's a point of view type of thing. They give you the same story from 3 different point of views. What was good about it, when I realized that was happening, like, don't tell me it's going to get repetitive. Just say the same damn story 3 times for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It wasn't disappointing at all. It was a lot of, if anything, if the parts that did show that repeated, it was changed with their acting, with the emotion.
Yeah.
Otherwise, each view had other things to also view,
and even sound too. I noticed that certain scenes, when they went back into it, had certain sounds for that specific point of view, which I've never seen that before. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Oh, we forgot to mention that this was the screenplay was also written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Yeah,
the last time they did it was Good Will Hunting.
You know, they love each other, Mr. Best Friends over there and shit.
And it's funny because Ben Affleck plays Pierre. It was a de la Son or something, and he's like a lord of the area where Matt Damon and Adam Driver live, where they are.
Yep.
So and it's funny because apparently he's up for a Razzie.
I was if
anything in this movie, it was like, why is Ben Affleck in this?
I couldn't
not even in it, but that role, like, it didn't work.
Is that? No, come on, Affleck. Now, come on now. Oh my God!
That was probably one part of the movie where it's like, now you get an A- because of that.
Come on now. Yeah, his character was pretty. interesting, I guess you could say, just out of place.
It's out of place. I feel like it could have had somebody else do that role, and I feel like, I had a screenplay, so you got to give me some kind of role in here, you know?
It's
like it was a little forced with him.
Yeah, it was weird. They could have had the guy. Hell, they could have had the guy who played East and fucking The Witcher probably do better.
I know. Yeah. Just give him blonde hair. He looks French now. Yeah.
Oh man. And so basically, the story really, at first, what we're introduced to, you know, it's the beginning of it, and you know, movies often, you know, kind of do this where the final two bosses are kind of battling, or the good guy versus the supposed bad guy, and then before it actually clashes, they bring you back and show you how we got there.
Exactly.
I was like, I'm kind of over that type of thing.
Exactly. That was the one thing. Like I said, I already knew. I think someone told me. I don't know if it was you that what to expect like there. So I kind of expected that. I watched it with my nephew Romy, and he wasn't happy when he found out about that at first.
Yeah,
I would have liking the movie though at the end.
Yeah, I would have rather it would have been different and shocking if the final battle was in the beginning scene. It's just like how we got
like the
here.
Entire
like the entire file would have been like, oh wow, that's different. But yeah, and what we find out is Matt Damon's character played by, and I'm only saying first names, okay? I'm not saying the whole title.
Carouge.
Yes, Carouge.
Say the last name, man.
Sir John D. Carouge.
Sir John D. Carouge.
And Adam Driver, which I've heard, you know, he's coming up. You know, obviously, I know him from more of social media, you know, apparently sexiest man alive, all that shit.
He's not a Star Wars guy, people.
Yes,
so he wouldn't really know
I
him
don't, you know,
Star Wars.
Yeah, I know a lot of people liked him in Marriage. I think it was him and I forget the chick who plays Black Widow. I forget her name. Scarlett Johansson. Yeah. I think they were both in the movie. It's on Netflix. I heard it was really good, but I don't really know him. He was really good as far as acting in here, and as far as we can tell, you know, they're damn near like brothers. They seem like
apparently,
really
yeah,
good.
Because this takes place after Matt Damon's character Jean, his first wife and child have died.
Yeah.
From plague or something like that, and Legree was the godfather of his first son. So they were buddies. They were pretty close. You know, but it's like the first point of view is from Jean de Carouge, Matt Damon's character.
And they always say, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to you know, this is how it looks.
Exactly. So you know, right? It's chipped out. Like from his point of view, he was like a hero. You know what I mean? He saved Legree's life in that first battle that they were in. Yep. And he felt like he deserved to be respected. And apparently, he just kept witnessing Legree constantly get higher rank with Ben Affleck's character, and Ben Affleck not liking Carouge. Yep. For any reason. He thinks he's not fun, that he's a jerk, and da-da-da. And Carouge is like, hey, I'm over here battling for you, killing people, saving lives, you know what I mean? But the beginning of that first battle, though, remember, he didn't listen. They told him to guard the bridge or whatever, and he's like, no, they're over beheading our people. Let's go save them. And then, you know, Driver followed him with everybody else, or Legree followed him with everybody else. And they lost a lot of people and lost the bridge. So that was the beginning of why Ben Affleck's character didn't like him.
Exactly. You know? And like Ito said, you know, you see him for the king. Exactly. And he goes in all dramatic, and, you know, he does save the people that's there. Like, he wins the battle, but loses, like, the war in a sense.
From his point of view, he was like, for the king, and everybody followed. And fucking Legree's point of view, he's like, let's go. And he goes off by himself, and everybody's like, he's gonna die. Legree's like, I'm not gonna let him die. Exactly. For the king. He's the one that yells for the king. You know what I mean?
And he even saves Legree, ends up saving him.
In Matt Damon's point of view, he saves Legree, and Legree's point of view, he saves Matt Damon.
So it's just that whole conundrum of who's telling the truth here. Like and what I will say, at least about, I will say they didn't really pull any punches with Adam Driver's character side of the story. You know, the first thing, you know, with the bridge and stuff, but it does seem like Matt Damon's character, Carouge, uses his head. I mean, he doesn't use his head, he uses his heart.
Yeah.
If he feels like something is wrong, he feels like something is wrong and he's going to stand up for that, just like he couldn't watch his people get beheaded.
Exactly.
But Adam Driver's character is just like, no, man, you got to think sometimes. You got to think with your head. And his intelligence has propelled him to a higher standard amongst the lore, which is, Pierre Ben Affleck's character. And you definitely see some type of, conflicts, because I'm just like, damn, can Matt Damon's character catch a break? Especially in his point of view, because in his point of view, he's a good husband. He ends up meeting this guy. I forget. Marguerite.
Well,
go ahead.
Before that, the next time we see Legree and Carouge is basically Legree's going to Carouge to collect money for Pierre. Mm-hmm. That he said he's got a job. Pierre gave him a job in charge of his finances and stuff. So that's like kind of beginning with, you're that close with him type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, I had to forcefully take the payment from other people. And he's like, so you're here to do that to me too? And he's like, I'll talk to Pierre, but I can't show up empty-handed. So he's trying to be a friend in a way. But you find out later on how he's getting these places and stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy. Then what was it? Later on, he ends up going. How did he meet? You remember how he met her?
Oh, are you talking about the one he ends up marrying?
Yeah.
I believe it was because Carouge fought in a battle because I believe he needed money. So he fought in a battle, him and his little crew.
Right.
And then they were welcomed in the place that they won the battle at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's where they were sheltered.
Yes.
And the guy in charge was basically a traitor who basically they allowed to live, and a lot of people thought he should have died because of that.
Exactly. And Matt Damon is just kind of shitting on him with that because he's, supporting him.
Didn't shake his hand or nothing. So then the guy introduces beautiful daughter. And in Matt Damon's mind, he was like, love at first sight.
Yeah. I mean, she's beautiful.
She was beautiful.
Definitely, she's beautiful. And what we find out is we do find out in her perspective a little bit more detail with the marriage, but basically they get married. And Matt Damon is so gentle in the bedroom in his point of view. Don't be scared, girl.
Don't be scared.
But one of the stipulations that went with the marriage is a piece of land that came with Margarita. How much Margarita? Call it? Yeah, Margarita. I'm just gonna call her Margarita. It was a piece of land that her dad, the lord of that area, said that he could have.
And basically like the land where she grew up on and stuff like that too. And it turns out that with the truth behind everyone's that he only married her for money, and it made it. He, from his point of view, was because love, but no, it was nothing like that. From her point of view, you saw that because when it turned out, Legree went to that father, that trader, to get his payment, and since he didn't have it, he took that land for himself.
Yeah, so
when he found out during the marriage that Cruz found out that land wasn't available anymore, he almost like wanted to call it off. He pulled him to the side, and hey, I thought this was part of the deal. And then after they had a little talk, and he was like, "We good?" Like, "Okay, carry on."
Yeah,
she just in the background,
he was too pissed. He was just and that's the fucked up thing. She was everybody was like, "Pause." She had people behind her. It was like a whole row of people that was about to start the celebration, and even Carouge says, he goes, can she at least have children? Like, I'm giving you a respectable name.
Right. like damn.
I was like, okay, but yeah, they still end up being married and, getting married. And for the most part, they do seem to respect each other. I don't want to go as far as saying love each other because it is, back in the day, an arranged marriage type of thing, basically. But they seem like they do respect each other. He's just having problems in the bedroom, unfortunately, when it comes to having a child. They haven't had a child in so long. I think it was like 4 or 5 years.
Something like that.
Yeah. And basically what happens is Carouge just kind of feels like Adam Driver's character Legree. Is that
Legree?
Legree. They keep end up butting heads eventually. Anytime Carouge has an issue, he's always
goes back to Legree. Like, how did he get this? How did he get that? You know what I mean? He got his land, and then when he found out he got the land, he apparently sued him and Pierre to try and get the land back, but it was never him to begin with. That's why they were so pissed off. Like, it wasn't his to begin with. How can he sue for land that it was never his?
Yeah, and the thing is, because it was his dad's land. You know, it was
it was the girl's dad.
No, I'm thinking, okay, I'm thinking you're talking about the other thing.
I was going to get into that.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is what started it.
Yep.
Because of the fact that he sued them, Pierre, when the father died, Pierre gave the captainship to Legree because of the suing. Because they were pissed off about it. And then that's when Matt Damon, Carouge, confronts them right after he makes him captain and they're celebrating. And that's when he basically goes off and like he's like starting in a driver's point of view or Legree's point of view, like they're making fun of him. He drives off. I forget what he says. He says some random words, and then the was like, and what? And they start laughing or something. Then he can't even get on his horse. They
pretty much shitted on the man. They definitely shitted on. And again, I gotta say, I mean, Carouge, for all intents and purposes, is getting the bad end of the stick. He's like, damn, every time, I married the girl, wanted to get the land, and next thing you know, you fuck it up. And all of a sudden, you're moving up politically because Ben Affleck's character
It's not even that.
Pierre and I every time I think of his character, I just shake my head. But Pierre and Legree's character, they're like super best friends of the whole wide world.
They
like
had orgies together and shit.
Exactly.
And that was one thing about Legree, that apparently he was a ladies' man. Everybody thought the girl thought he was attractive. He's fucking whatever he wants to fuck.
He's running, trying to catch the girl. You remember that?
Yeah.
He's trying
if
to
you
catch
run,
her ass.
I'll have to chat you or something, or chase you.
Yep. And I was just like, damn, they're wild, but it is back in the day, no rules and shit like that. And power, that's just incredible that they can just do all of this stuff. Not obviously the orgies and stuff, but just the whole Pierre just, hey, let's take that land, you over, and we'll just take this. We'll just take
he's
this.
The Lord there, and that's his boy, so he could do whatever he want for his boy. But it's like, you look at both sides, it seemed like Carouge getting a bad end, but you can see at the same time how he deserved some of that shit. He was a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Legree was, if anything, pompous, but he was smarter. He could read. Carouge was illiterate. He spoke different languages.
He actually followed rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those little stuff, you saw both sides up to a certain point. Basically after that is when years later they found out one of the other buddies that they were connected to was having a baby. So she wanted to go because they don't go out anywhere. So he was like,
they were banned from court after that little scene.
After he had his outburst.
Because this horse, like you were saying.
Exactly.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So so he tells her, go get a dress made. So she's all excited. She wants to dress up and go to this party. So first thing they go walk into this party, the first thing you see is Legree on the other side of the room. And they basically walk up to the other and shake up, like, let's end this stupid feud type of thing.
And for all intents and purposes, it seems like everything is working out fine. They done squashed the beef. Everything is cool.
But apparently,
until he
says,
Margarita.
This is my wife. My wife, kiss him to show how much we're family or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, that's fucking weird.
His point of view was just a little peck.
Yeah.
From both of their point of view, it seemed like he wanted to do a little more, or or she, from his point of view, she wanted to do more. From hers, he wanted to do more.
Yeah, she was really awkward in her point of view.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, from that one little peck, Legree is in love, and he is obsessed.
More, especially when he finds out that she can read, she speaks different languages, the type of book she reads, and all that stuff. So it's pretty tripped out.
And she's married to who? She can do all these things. Right. She's beautiful, and she's married to this dude. He was not having it.
Right? Yeah, he couldn't believe that. And then when she's dancing with Caruso, like from her point of view, she's explaining to him like, oh, you can't just be a dick, basically saying that like sometimes you got to put a smile on and
it's funny because that's from her perspective.
From his point of view, she flirting.
It's funny because even his guy, he's like, hey, bro, you see that, right? You see that, right? You see that, right? Yeah.
Instigating and shit.
Oh, man, it just ends up basically, pretty horrible. And she does think he is attractive. I mean, when they all meet, she's with her
friends,
lower ladies and stuff.
And stuff.
She's telling,
he's handsome. He's handsome.
But she does say,
and she talks shit,
my
but
wife,
still.
I mean, I'm not my wife, but my husband don't trust his ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but, Sir, Legree is just obsessed with her. He's having dreams about her.
Yeah.
And before we get into what he does, how'd you feel about Matt Damon's mom? Bro,
she was a bitch.
She was so horrible. I mean, they got that makeup good, because when she was talking about the whole later, when she actually has a discussion with Margarita about the incident, she was just like, I was too, and so what? So what?
Yeah, like you just gotta shut up and take it.
I know. I was just like, okay. But basically, what ends up happening is Caruso, she has to go on business. I forget, was he going on a battle?
No, first he goes to Scotland for a battle, and then that was for like a couple months apparently. And then when he comes back from that battle, then he has to leave to Paris to go get his money.
Yes.
But while at that battle, he gets knighted, on the field, so that he actually becomes a knight. So when he comes back, he tells her, I got to leave again for about a week to go to Paris. I got to get my money, and then I got to go see Pierre or something like that. And he was like, do not leave. Do not let her be by herself, type of thing, telling his mother. And of course, while he's gone, the mother leaves.
Takes all the servants,
and she even tells her like, he said not to leave me alone, and she just looks at her like, let's go.
Exactly. And then she ends up heading out.
In real life, it was her mother, not his mother.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, so her mother was
her mother left. Well, they never said that.
Oh, well, okay. I was like,
she had an errand to run and took took most, if not all, servants. That's what I read.
And so Legree and his boy goes over. He has this boy person. He's like, hey, you know me, my car went out. You know what I'm saying? My car went out a couple of blocks away. You know what I'm saying? And I just need to jump. Can I go in?
Have you done this before?
And then she obviously lets him in. I'm just like, come on now. Why you gonna do that? This is back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, she lets him in. Legree,
forces his way
in, and you can tell that she is automatically uncomfortable. He professes his love for this woman. I mean, the dude is obsessed to the point where she's like, I think you should leave. And then he angrily says, yeah, dog, I think we should leave. You should leave. And I'm just like,
makes his boy leave, right?
Really? I was like, really? That's what you got from that? That's what you got from that? Okay. And basically, he rapes her. Now, I will say this. I thought when we saw it again from his perspective, it was going to be something completely different.
No.
Hell no.
Either way, like, it just looked worse from her perspective.
Yeah.
From his, I don't know if he felt like it was playful. You know what I mean?
He looked drunk too.
He felt like it was playful. Like she really wanted it, but she was trying to play with him. You know what I mean? Even when she say no, even when he like penetrated her, in his she moaned. In his point of view.
Yeah, and you saw it was funny because I had the subtitles. It was like, he chuckles. I was like, God, this sick fuck.
Exactly.
But yeah.
So even in both perspectives, afterwards, he was like, I wouldn't tell nobody about this. If your husband find out, he'll kill you.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
And for a second there, when the beginning of the movie, when they were talking about, your wife is dead, your kid is dead, I was like, oh my God, is she the wife? Did they pull a swerve on us? And I was like, no. But yeah, and what I do like about the redo of that scene, obviously I didn't like watching that scene twice, but again, different perspective, music in the background. Like you actually hear her screaming more and everything because like you said, from his perspective, he's just like, oh, this shit's a fucking party.
Yeah, she's giggling here and there, moaning, right. That's what I'm saying. It was like that was the best part of the movie. Like watching those different scenes acted differently from the point of views of whoever we're watching. That was, I thought, one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Just get on with you on that. Yeah, definitely. And Karuj ends up coming home, and she basically tells him, you know, she's absolutely devastated. I remember that scene that I saw her, you know, standing, you know, I don't want to say surrounded by candles, but I thought she was trying to take some, like, do like some sort of abortion thing. Like, that's what I thought it was. I was like, oh, is she like praying? I don't fucking know what that is. I had no idea because that's another thing about this movie. Holy fuck with the God and shit. They're just like,
everything,
bro, I was just like, but did you what the dude say? Oh my God, no, when they actually had the trial.
That's later.
But she ends up telling Matt Damon, and I honestly thought he was going to kill her. I thought there was some slimmer of a chance that he was going to kill her.
Only because you see them dueling at the end already.
That's true. That's true. You're right.
But you saw the two different point of views. From his point of view, he was like, "Oh my God, I will get him for you." Like from her point of view, he grabbed her ass by the throat, like, "You're fucking lying, aren't you?" Type of shit.
You couldn't run? Are you sure that you didn't do anything?
Basically blaming her first, you know what I mean? Like, damn, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and he does come around, as Megatron, you know, so he wants to put in his input too.
He does come around, but from her perspective, he's coming around for his own pride, not really even for her.
Yeah, because she just wanted to handle this shit through court.
Yeah, they're saying that the rape is not a crime against the woman. It's a crime against the man's property. And that was kind of tripped out to hear too. Then, of course, during the trial, you find out she's pregnant. 8 months pregnant, 8 months after the rape. But if you remember from her point of view, after she confessed to what happened, he was like, he's not going to be the only man. He's not going to be the last man you had inside you. And he fucked her right there. You know what I mean? So, truthfully,
we don't know. Yeah,
who the baby
definitely
is.
don't know
so
who this kid
you assume it's Legree's because they've been trying for how many years? And all of a sudden she's pregnant after the rape. You know what I mean? So you want to assume it's his, but you can't. For sure. But
one thing they also say specifically is when she also is getting checked to see what's physically wrong with her, they say you do have to feel satisfied in order to make a child.
Right now. So you can't have child unless you can't basically have a child unless you bust a nut.
Oh my God. And that's so funny because obviously I know about anatomy, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. You know, guys just think you go in, you do your business, walk out. Oh, you know, she got pregnant, but that is true. So,
no, it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not true.
Wait,
women get raped, they get pregnated all the time. It's not true. That was the funny part.
Oh,
dude,
shit.
That's the whole thing. Like,
Happy New Beer. But I was just like, oh.
That's why it was funny when the guy said, a woman can't have a child unless she climaxes. It's science. And I just thought that was the funniest part of the damn movie.
You're right on that one. But yeah, and there's basically this whole trial. At first, they say how we're going to handle this. You know, not Pierre, but Karuj gets his people together, and they're just like,
let's spread the word about it.
Yes, let's spread the word.
He had her tell her story in front of everybody, all the friends and townfolk, and just spread it. Let's get it to the king.
And next thing you know, Pierre finds out, sits Legree down, and it's just like, hey, this is what's going on. Legree is obviously like, no, that didn't happen. Yeah. She definitely wanted it.
Yeah, he confessed to her he did it, but that she wanted it. And Pierre's like, you didn't do anything.
Exactly. You know He's just like, you know what? It's going to be a short trial, but lucky for you, I'm basically the judge. Right. And he does exactly what he says he's going to do. He gets his boy off. He gets Legree off. You know, he doesn't even consider the fact. And I don't even think if Legree would have told Pierre, like, yeah, you know what I did. Yeah. You know, she slapped me and I just gave it to her. He would have still got him off.
Kicked her, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Took him off there.
And so by this time, they're just like, oh, this is settled. Now take this over to, I forgot what he said, Paris or a friend. He's like, take this over to this place before, old boy tried to appeal this. And Lord behold, Carouge has already did the appeal. And he is ready to do this motherfucking duel. He's just ready to fight to the death.
They're still going to have court and stuff, and it'll be the king's decision whether if he wants to rule somebody guilty or not. Or a battle. That still has to determine until after the trial. Then there's like, we'll have the battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, one thing I did like about the whole trial, I did like Legree's point of view of him defending himself, doing the spin with his little cape and shit, and walking off, picking up the glove with the duel. But man, Margarita's trial was absolutely horrible. It was just, they obviously picked prodded her. They were just like, are you sure? Are you sure? They didn't believe her at all.
Of course, the one of her girls that she told Legree was handsome, tricked on her, didn't believe her either. Like, she turned her back on her and everything.
Yeah.
And then that pissed off Matt Damon later. Are you embarrassed to be in front of all these people telling him he's handsome and type of shit? And she was like, well, you over here. Basically, they found out also if Matt Damon gets killed, she gets burned at the stake.
Yeah.
So she's like, you didn't tell me that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like,
and
you're the one that wants to. I just wanted to
whipped too.
Right.
I was like, damn. I straight thought they were gonna do.
Hey, just so you know, you can burn 20 to 30 minutes.
I thought they would just go have her ass run down naked and just be shamed. I was like, okay, the whips. I was cool with the whips. It was like, oh yeah, and last thing, we're gonna set you on fire. I was like, holy shit. So she is freaking out.
They had their little confrontation about that, and then he's over here like, I'm putting my life on the line for you. She's like, no, you're not. You're putting my life on the line for your pride against your damn enemy.
Like, brother, if you lose, you already dead. Like, what you mean? It's not like, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. And at that point, I was like, oh, is it just one of them where if you fall out the horse, you just lose? Because he was making it seem like this. I was like, and then we have it because at this point, Margarita's already had the child and she is freaking the fuck out. She is just like, I just had this child. I got a new leap on life. If I would have known all of this was gonna happen, maybe I would have just shut the fuck up. And at this point, there's no stopping it. No. And so the duel is on, baby. And what did you think about?
Fight.
Like, you came in here, you know what I'm saying? He came early, and I was just like, damn, I still got like 15 more minutes left. And we watched it. I was just like, my God, this battle was epic.
It was a great battle.
I mean, the fucking horse shot, like when he throws the axe and hits the fucking horse and takes the goddamn horse down. I was just like, holy shit. And then you go, in real life he actually chopped the head off of the horse. I was like, oh my God. It was a lot of chaos. And one thing I will say is the ending of the movie, who wins between the two? Obviously Carouge does beat Legree, but
he tries to get him to confess before he kills him. And till the end, he actually believed he did not rape her.
Yes.
That was the crazy. Like, he believed it.
Yeah,
he believed, no rape. He said that my soul, damnation type shit. And you know what I mean?
Just like
damn.
Shit,
and apparently in real life, he yells those same words out that he yelled in the movie. You know? So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was one of the things where I was just like, wow. Oh, okay.
The whole thing is these duels were already outlawed, and they brought it back for this one trial. That's why it was called The Last Duel.
Fun fact, I thought they were just trying to think of another cool name. But yeah, it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. Hell, I would see it in theaters. So like,
that was the whole thing, that it bombed hard in theaters, but that was like, last year. That would like not many people going to the movies.
Pandemic and everything.
People going to the movies were younger people, kids, teenagers, and this was no movie for that.
Yeah, not
kids
to
and
mention
teenagers.
exactly.
Adults were still scared to go out to the theaters. Blah blah blah.
Not to mention the streaming thing. Like most of that year,
this went to the movies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But a lot of the movies were going, straight to.
Of course, but
TV.
it's like you get a movie directed by Ridley Scott with Matt Damon, Adam Driver, Ben Affleck, all those big names, and it bombed. Hard.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is what that is. I will say, to me personally, I like Matt Damon. I think he's a phenomenal actor. But to me, like, it's never been a movie where I was just like, wow, he did a phenomenal job. Like, I love the Bourne series. I like most movies he's in. Never seen Good Will Hunting, I don't think. But this, I was like, this character, like, he nailed it.
Yeah.
Like, he was really, really fucking, to me, this
and
was
he
his,
had a mullet. He worked the hell out of that mullet.
I was like, this is the best acting I've ever seen him do in the movie. Again, haven't seen Good Will Hunting, but I was just like, holy shit. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, this was really, really fucking good. Adam Driver was really good. The whole cast was really good. I really want to do a shout out to Margarita. I was just telling Ito before this, I was like, has she been in anything? And then he was like, well, you probably don't know Star Wars Episode 9. I know you probably don't know that. I was like,
she was Ray's mother.
But yeah, she's really, really good. Ben Affleck, horrible. Sorry. I just have to say it.
Yeah, he did not need to be there.
So bad.
You could have gave him a different role or something.
I mean, you remember was the actor who played Scooby-Doo, Shaggy?
Oh.
It's kind of like if he was the
Lillard.
king. Like, I was like, what
Matthew
the
Lillard.
fuck?
Matthew Lillard, that's his name. Yeah.
And I love him, by the way. I think he's a tremendously underrated actor. But that was just like if you put him in this movie, I was just like, come on now.
Yeah, 13 Ghosts. He was good in that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That was good. That was good. So, we're going to do 5 out of 10. I think we always talk about how we're going to do it. We usually do 10, right? Out of the ratings out of 10, right?
Yeah.
I give this shit an 8.5.
Yeah, I give it the same thing.
Yeah, I fucking loved it. I have no complaints with this movie. And
Ben Affleck.
Matt Damon. I just had to do it.
Matt Damon.
But ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
This is Ito.
We are the Carbonation Conversation, the last Duel review. Thank you for listening. And as always, we love you.